I think it's that human connection that really, at the end of the day, was the most impactful part of the campaign. Both of those individuals, they've both been in elected office for about as long as I've been alive. One had been elected the first time in '84, the other had been elected in '86. One of them is still a sitting state senator. The other had just left the legislature to become a judge. They had been in power for a long time and assumed that many of the people who had voted for them in the past would vote for them again. I didn't assume anything and just tried to knock on every single door I could, had as many individual conversations as I could with members of the Democratic Party, and sat down for coffees and lunches and sat down in people's living rooms and front stoops, and poured myself into that campaign and into the people of the city. I think that was what helped me win. That quote actually was from a story I told on election night. I had both my parents there. My parents, as you can imagine, have just sacrificed so much for me and my sister to be where we are. I told this story about when I was in high school and I first got really interested in politics. I volunteered on a local state representative campaign in California, and I fell in love with it. I told them, I really like this. I think I can make an impact in politics, and maybe one day I'd want to run for office. They said, Arunan, no one is going to vote for someone with the last name Arulampalam. I told that story kind of jokingly, and I said, a few thousand people tonight voted for somebody with the last name Arulampalam. The point of that story was that my parents weren't trying to blow up my dreams. They didn't wish less for me, but they were trying to explain the world that they lived in, the world that was given to them, the limitations that were placed on them because of their names, their accents, and because they were from somewhere else. As brilliant as I think both of them are, as much as I think they both have to give, I think this society didn't fully value them to the extent of what they could contribute to their sacrifice for me. I was able to dream about a world that could accept me, a world where I could be a leader, a world where people would vote for somebody who looked like me and had my name. I am now the only mayor of color of a major city in Connecticut.